You talk about making choices. You made a really big one earlier this year.
I did.
You, after 11 years, left WWE, and you didn't really make a big deal about it. You didn't put out a tweet about it. You didn't do a podcast. You didn't make a video. You kind of quietly left the company.
I didn't want to make a big deal out of it because a lot of people do. I just want to do it different. I'm kind of against the grain a lot, where I'm just like, everybody's doing this, let me try to do this over here. And I felt it was better that way because I figured if I want to keep wrestling and then I pop up somewhere, it's going to be a bigger surprise. And I feel wrestling is all about moments. Nobody really knows what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. And that's the beauty in wrestling, right? Like, you want to be surprised. Like, yes, you want to know, but you also love being surprised. And to me, that's always a very important thing, that you know maybe, but there's always that doubt. And that's what makes magic happen.
Claudio, I'm convinced he's an alien. Like, there's no way that he's like that strong, that fast. And also he's smart, and he's nice, and he speaks 4 languages, and he's got this perfect, crazy superhero body, and like, there's no way. He's like, it's crazy that he's, just his ability in the ring is so good. Just one of the most perfect professional wrestlers to ever exist.
Claudio Castagnoli sends a clear warning message to WWE by leaving and joining their biggest competitor. After 11 years of dedication to WWE as Cesaro, Castagnoli made the bold decision to leave the company and join AEW. And make no mistake, in his own words, he stated, "You sometimes have to take a leap of faith. This wasn't just a simple contract switch. This was a statement, a warning shot across the bow, a declaration that sometimes growth requires risk, and that talented performers won't settle for being underutilized." Today, we're breaking down everything you need to know about this monumental move, from the reasons behind his departure to his incredible reception in AEW.
Do you feel like there was a moment there when you were really close and then something happened and then the plans went a different way?
Yes. No.
Yeah, you're like, yes, many times.
So it's all about building momentum, right? You have to find that momentum, and I feel I created that momentum a lot of times with the fans. I feel like that's the natural thing. You've seen that with I feel like the last time that really happened was with Becky. Becky just got red hot, and the fans made her undeniable. And I feel like I was on that verge a couple of times where the crowd was with me, my stuff was going awesome. And then it was just, okay, well, we're going in this direction now. And it was like, all right, back to square one. And that happened a bunch of times. But in the end, it all led to this.
Let's start from the beginning. In February 2022, Claudio Castagnoli's WWE contract expired, and the two sides couldn't reach an agreement on an extension. For many, this came as a shock. Here was a performer beloved by fans and respected in the locker room, yet somehow, WWE let him walk away. But the writing was on the wall. Despite a brief push against Roman Reigns in 2021 and a WrestleMania victory over Seth Rollins, Castagnoli found himself barely used in his final months. He wasn't even included in the 30-man Royal Rumble match in January 2022. That exclusion became the turning point. In an interview with Sports Illustrated, Claudio revealed that being left out of the Royal Rumble made him realize it was time to go. But here's what's remarkable. Despite how WWE treated him at the end, Castagnoli took the high road. He stated, "It can be hard to take the high road, but that's the road I am going to take. All the memories, they matter. I'm grateful for everything I have accomplished, and I'm grateful for all those opportunities."
Trying for the powerbomb, but Claudio Castagnoli, tremendous grip strength. And Orange Cassidy just brought up to the top turnbuckle by his ears.
What the hell?
And now Claudio Castagnoli, delayed vertical suplex on the ropes, giving the champ plenty of time to think about it.
It's going to be a really nasty landing here. One arm, he's holding the head. On the fans of Prince.
This level of class and professionalism speaks volumes about Claudio's character. While many former WWE stars have openly criticized their former employer after joining AEW, Castagnoli chose dignity and gratitude instead. So why AEW? According to Claudio himself, it wasn't just about leaving WWE, it was about finding the right fit for the next chapter of his career. In his conversation with Digital Spy, Castagnoli explained his mindset. When you want to grow as a performer, as a human, you sometimes have to take a leap of faith, or a risk, or do something new, and I figured AEW is exactly that for me.
Down, man! Spade the V trigger!
some of the elements that might go down at Double or Nothing this Sunday in the Anarchy in the Arena match.
Well, if this is what we're seeing Wednesday, what will we see Sunday?
Omega looking for the one-winged angel, but Claudio Castagnoli bails out Matthew Jackson.
But this wasn't a rash decision. Claudio had been following AEW since its inception, watching the product develop and evaluating whether it would be the right home for him. He knew he needed a place where he could face new challenges and work with different opponents. He told NBC Sports Boston, "I felt that I was a better fit at AEW, and there was a lot more for me to do with AEW when it comes to challenges. When it came to people I want to work with, there are just so many people there that I haven't wrestled either at all or in a very, very long time."
I felt that I was a better fit at AEW, and there was a lot more for me to do with AEW when it comes to challenges, when it came to, people I want to work with. There's so much, so many people there that I haven't wrestled either at all or in a very, very long time.
After leaving WWE, Castagnoli took 4 months to recharge mentally and physically. He knew what he wanted and where he wanted to go, but he also understood the importance of arriving fresh and ready to make an impact. As he put it, "That was time for me to take a break mentally, recharge, and come back better. My goal is always to be better than I was yesterday, to be better tomorrow than I am today."
Cope sending Claudio over the barricade and trying to clear a path. They are coming
They're
right over our shoulders.
This is wild here.
Oh, wait a second. Wheeler Yuta.
Yuta out of nowhere catching Cope.
The Death Rider's always with the numbers advantage.
Oh, good God. Cope said he's going to take them out one by one, but now he's being double teamed. And look at Marina's here as well.
Marina Shafir, and you know that the AEW World Champion Jon Moxley is somewhere close at hand.
Of course.
It's Cope and Moxley on Sunday, March 9th, Revolution, live on pay-per-view for the AEW World Championship. Cope, he landed that...
And timing, as they say, is everything. Claudio believes everything happens for a reason, and the circumstances of his debut proved him right. June 26, 2022, AEW x NJPW Forbidden Door. This was the night Claudio Castagnoli burst onto the AEW scene in spectacular fashion. Originally, Claudio was scheduled to debut at Ring of Honor's Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view on July 23rd. But when Bryan Danielson was injured and had to be pulled from his match against Zack Sabre Jr., opportunity knocked.
What the hell? I suggest you do the same. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. This has got to be stopped. This is too much. This is ridiculous. Look at this. Even Wheeler Yuta trying to calm Castagnoli down. I don't think I've ever seen a temper tantrum like this in my life in a wrestling program. Ever.
Claudio became the mystery replacement, and when his music hit, the crowd absolutely erupted. The reception was overwhelming, and he delivered in the ring, defeating Sabre Jr. with a lariat and powerbomb combination. At the post-show media scrum, an elated Castagnoli summed up his feelings perfectly. "Sometimes the stars align for a perfect moment. That's what happened tonight. At the end of the day, I'm always looking for new challenges. Here in AEW, I'm like a kid in a candy store."
Claudio Castagnoli with Darby. Oh, no. No.
Watch out, watch out! Not this way, you son of a... No way!
That phrase, "kid in a candy store," became his signature description of how AEW made him feel. Despite it being his first night, he told reporters, "This is my first night here and I feel like I've been here for years. It just fits. It's awesome." 3 days later, he participated in the Blood and Guts match on Dynamite, teaming with the Blackpool Combat Club, the faction that would become his new home. He scored the winning fall on top of the cage, cementing his arrival as a major player. His early AEW record? Undefeated. 3 wins in his first appearances, including victories over Zack Sabre Jr. and Jake Hager. The momentum was undeniable. He acknowledged,
Everything
"I've
you
seen
keep
that
coming
pursuit
back to with all of
destroy
this is
people.
just like
Those
you
sacrifices
love
ate them up.
Is that
always
what led
seeking
you
one
to
more
sign
run.
with AEW?
I've never
Yes.
sacrificed my
Also the
authenticity
idea
or
of
integrity."
wanting to try something new. I had watched Cody wrestle Penta. Cody did this top rope Frankenstein on Penta. I was like, is that what you have to do? Like, and part of it is scary, and part of it is like intriguing. Like, oh, can I do this? I used to be able to do this style. Can I still do this style? I didn't know if WWE was going to start doing the live events and stuff again. At that point, I'd had 2 kids, and I was like, I don't want to do that schedule. At AEW, it's just Wednesdays at the time. That was a very appealing schedule to me for my family.
Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon himself, has finally opened up about why he walked away from WWE to join AEW, and his reasons might shock you. In a bombshell interview with Chris Van Vliet, Danielson didn't hold back. He revealed the emotional moment that changed everything, the schedule that was breaking him down, and why AEW's approach won him over completely.
I don't know how many of you are married or have kids, but when you're married and you have kids, your life becomes like a little bit tame. I love it, but it's a little bit tame. I need one part of my life that's a little bit wild, right? That like, you see these guys doing these crazy things and I'm like, oh my God, can I do that? You know what? Hell yes, I can. I don't care. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna show everybody here that what elite really looks like. This is what elite looks like. You know, Punk had come in and said like, oh, I want to help the young guys and all that kind of stuff. No, man, I'm gonna kick their fucking heads in. Can I say that word?
Yeah.
Can I say
in this
that?
room you can.
Okay. Yeah.
This isn't just about one wrestler switching companies. This is about what truly matters to talent in today's wrestling industry, and it should be a massive wake-up call for WWE. Here's where everything changed for Bryan Danielson. While still under WWE contract, he watched something that would alter his entire perspective on professional wrestling.
Get that script back in!
It was AEW's tribute show for the late Brodie Lee, and it hit Bryan harder than any wrestling angle ever could. In his own words, Danielson explained, "We had a wrestler, Brodie Lee, who had passed away. AEW did this incredible tribute show. At that point, I was still with WWE, and the way AEW did that show, Brodie was my friend. It touched something in me. But here's the part that should concern WWE." Bryan continued, "I was thinking like, oh, these are the good guys of professional wrestling." Think about the weight of that statement. One of WWE's top stars, still working for them, watched their competition and thought, these are the good guys. That's not just praise for AEW, it's a direct criticism of how WWE handles these deeply personal moments. It suggests WWE treats tragedies as content rather than honoring them with genuine respect.
I have to ask you this because it really tickles me if it's true. Is it true that when you were renegotiating with WWE to potentially stay, that Vince was going to let you do the G1?
So, I don't know for sure if he would have let me. The last conversation that we had, where I told him that I was going to, because I told him I was going to go to AEW. I told him like once I make my decision, I'll tell you. And so it was around August of that year. My contract expired the last day of April of 2021.
This tribute show revealed something crucial to Bryan. AEW understood that wrestling is a brotherhood. They showed that when tragedy strikes, you honor your fallen with authenticity and love, not just another produced segment. This moment planted the seed. But there were more reasons pushing Bryan toward the exit. The second major reason Bryan left WWE, his family, plain and simple.
Early August was when I finally decided, and I called him and told him, and he kind of asked me why. And I said, well, this, that, the other, one of the things I want to do is I want to do I want to work with New Japan and do the G1. And he did say in that moment, I don't know if it would have actually ever come to fruition, that I'd let you do that or whatever it is. And so yeah, I think maybe.
After years of WWE's relentless schedule, the pandemic gave Bryan time to reevaluate what truly mattered. And when WWE started ramping back up to full touring, he realized he couldn't go back to that life. Here's what Bryan told Chris Van Vliet. There was also the idea at the time, the pandemic was just kind of ending and they were starting to do live shows again. I didn't know if WWE was going to start doing the live events and stuff again because of that schedule. At that point, we had 2 kids, and I was like, I don't want to do that schedule anymore.
There was also the idea At the time, you know, the pandemic was just kind of ending, and we're starting to do live shows again. I didn't know if WWE was going to start doing the live events and stuff again, because that schedule, at that point we had 2 kids, and I was like, I don't want to do that schedule.
The difference between WWE and AEW's schedules was staggering. Bryan explained, at AEW it's just Wednesdays. At the time it was just Wednesdays, and I was like, that was a very appealing schedule to me for my family.
Like, at AEW it's just Wednesdays. At the time it was just Wednesdays. And I was like, that was a very appealing schedule to me for my family.
Let that sink in. WWE had Bryan on the road 6 or 7 days a week, constant flights, hotels, live events, TV tapings. He was never home. AEW offered 1 day of work per week. For a father of 2 young children who wanted to actually be present for their childhood, this wasn't even a difficult decision. Bryan emphasized this point. That was a very appealing schedule to me for my family. Remember, this is also a man dealing with serious neck issues. He revealed, I have degeneration from C1 all the way down to T2. I'm on the cusp of needing surgery.
So I have degeneration from C1 all the way down to T2. So it's like cervical.
Your entire neck.
Yeah. So it's like, there's, it's like I'm on the cusp of needing surgery.
His body couldn't handle WWE's grueling pace anymore. Even the lighter AEW schedule took its toll. I was actually doing really well until I started traveling more, and then it's really gone downhill.
I was actually doing really well until I started traveling, and then it's really gone downhill. You know, I had
WWE's schedule wasn't just inconvenient, it was physically destroying him, but it wasn't just about schedule and respect. Bryan wanted to prove something to himself about the kind of wrestler he still was. One specific moment caught his attention and wouldn't let go. Bryan described watching Cody Rhodes face Penta. I had watched Cody wrestle Penta, and I used to ride with Cody. He did this like, they're both standing on the top and Cody does this top rope Frankensteiner on Penta. Like, is that what you have to do? And part of it is scary and part of it is intriguing. Like, oh, can I do this? I used to be able to do this style. Can I still do this style?
I had watched Cody wrestle Penta, and I used to ride with Cody. He did this like, they're both standing on the top, and Cody did this top rope Frankenstein on Penta. I was like, is that what you have to do? Like, and part of it is scary, and part of it is like intriguing. Like, oh, can I do this? I used to be able to do this style. Can I still do this style?
This was about returning to the athletic, hard-hitting style that made him fall in love with wrestling in the first place. The style AEW showcased every week. Bryan knew time was running out. I always kind of wanted to push myself. I knew it was probably the last wrestling contract I'd ever sign. I wanted to see if my body could still do some of these things.
Like, I always kind of wanted to push myself. I knew it was probably the last wrestling contract I'd ever sign. And then I also wanted to see if my body could still do some of these things.
This reveals a fundamental difference between the companies. AEW let their wrestlers truly wrestle. Fast-paced, athletic, sports-based action. WWE had more restrictions on style and presentation. For Bryan, this was about artistic fulfillment. Could he still perform at that elite level? AEW gave him the platform to find out, and the results spoke for themselves. Bryan said, by the end of my AEW run, I was better mentally at wrestling than I'd ever been.
By the end of my AEW run, I thought I was better mentally at wrestling than I'd ever been.
That's a powerful statement from someone who main evented WrestleMania and had a legendary WWE career. His peak as a wrestler came in AEW, not WWE. Perhaps nothing illustrates Bryan's fulfillment in AEW better than this revelation. His favorite career moment wasn't in WWE. It wasn't winning the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 30 in front of 75,000 screaming fans. It was winning the AEW World Championship at All In at Wembley Stadium.